tell you about my show. Wednesday nights. And here we go. It's the rule of three with a touch of Basco. And like the Joker says, and here we go. It's Wednesday night and it's 9 o'clock. Click on the thumbnail, it's about to get hot. We get 3 different questions in only 3 minutes. It ain't for the scared, it ain't for the timid. Some will like us and some just don't. A lot will back us and some just won't. It don't matter with the Chaos crew. We specialize in making things do what they do. So sit back, chill, and enjoy the show with me, Chris, Guy Scar, and Nzo.
Fire, peace. 9 o'clock, Wednesday nights. Don't miss it. Check us out.
What is up, everybody? I am Chris Knight. This is Chaos Central's The Rule of Three, last show of the week that we do. Sometimes we do Thursday, Friday, Sundays, it depends. But this is the third, the last of the week. With me, as always, I have Mr. Nzo of Biggaford Entertainment and Danny of Comic Chat, but we got a special guest here for just a few minutes. This is Jason of Sci-Fi For Me TV. And Jason, I think it's the unlucky anniversary, isn't it?
Yeah, 13 years today. We have been around doing what we do. We started in 2009, and today's our official anniversary. So we're making the rounds and saying hi to people and trying to tell all about us in 5 seconds or less.
Absolutely. You have been on the channel before. You were on the Star Wars Senate, which we got to get back to, but we've had some things happen. A friend of ours died, actually, that was on that show, JJ. So unfortunately, a lot of things got tied up and stuff. So we will get back to that before long. But why don't you tell some people really quick about what you do on Sci-Fi For Me TV?
Well, we are a multi-platform operation, basically magazine, book and movie reviews over at our .com. We have a number of programs that are on our TV channel here. We've got a couple of Star Wars programs. We've got a general news program, some talk and discussion and interview programs. So basically, we cover science fiction, fantasy, horror, comic books, video games, and that sort of thing. And we do reviews, we do interviews, we do long form interviews, we do short interviews. We've got general news coverage. So on Saturday morning, we've got here are all the headlines for the week, and that includes updates for Comic Cons and various conventions around the world, in addition to the weather forecast for cities that are hosting events. So if you're if you're going to go to Boston next week for an event, we've got the weather forecast for next weekend on Saturday mornings. So
nice.
That's great. I think we're the only ones that do it.
I have not heard of anybody doing that before, and that's actually really cool. You guys occasionally, because I know Pop Culture Mindcast, Gary over there, he and you have done some conventions together around. Do you guys stay in the general area? I think he said something about you guys have been either at the same convention or something. I don't know.
I think we've come across each other in a couple of places. We haven't been to one in a little while, but it's been one of those things where a lot of it has to do with the lockdown. Yeah. But we've been to Dallas, we've been to Chicago, we've been to some different events in Oklahoma and various different places here in Missouri. I don't think we've gone any further east than Chicago yet, but we've had volunteers that have been in places like Orlando. We had 1 year where we had some people up at New York Comic Con. We've had some people out at San Diego before. I would love to get out there myself. But, just depending on the time of when in our 13 years, we've had people from different parts of the globe contributing. We've covered WonderCon, we've covered San Diego Comic Con, we've done a lot of different types of shows everywhere around. So I would like to get out to more of them and broadcast from the floor a little bit more than we have before. We proved the model at Planet Comic Con and World Con. So it's just now a question of getting events open up to that again. You know, we've covered Star Wars Celebration, for example. So yeah, we definitely want to get out there and start broadcasting a little bit more.
That's very nice. I don't know how long you have, but if you'd like, we're gonna go ahead and start our
Check your
thing.
phone, Nzo.
And we're going to go ahead and show you how we do things here. If you'd like to stay, what we do is we talk about some topics that I have here. 3 topics. We do 3 minutes each and 3 minutes as a group, but I think today we can give you 3 minutes and we can just skip the group on the first one, maybe, depending on what it is. But let's go ahead and share the screen right now. Here we go. All right. Nzo, you picked first last week. Danny, you picked first the week before that. Would you like to give Jason a chance to pick this week, guys? You all right with that?
Yeah. Knock yourself out.
1, 2, or 3.
Oh, I guess let's go with door number 3.
Door number 3. There are talks of a live-action Voltron movie to be helmed by Red Notice director Rawson Marshall. Knowing that Red Notice is a comedy action film, do you think that this would hurt the overall feel of what a Voltron movie should be? That is your question. There are 3 minutes we're going to put up on the board right now. And who would like to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, 3 minutes. Danny, your time starts now.
Hey, if they have Swiss Beats do the intro to Voltron, I'm there because that intro is fire. They got to do it right. It can't look anything like Power Rangers that last with the cars and stuff that just look cheesy. They're gonna put a lot of money into the special effects. What's the one with the kaiju? I can't think of the name of the movie.
Pacific Rim.
You got to be more Pacific Rim, but even better than that because the big robots, they were kind of believable and some of the stuff, but it got to look even better because now they got to not only look believable, but to see them joining together. That has to look tight to see those lions joining together to form Voltron and how they would do the blazing sword, all that stuff. So it got to be right. It got to be something. They can't spare no expense on this because if it look cheesy, I think it's going to lose some of its credibility and people are like, that's cheesy. So whatever they do, if they're going to do it, they have to spend a lot of money and make the story compelling. I might do some no names, maybe one well-known actor to try to get that name recognition. But yeah, they gotta put a lot of money into the special effects because Voltron has a very distinctive look. Each of the cats got their own different personality as well as the people that ride in them. And like I said, that transformation, man, gonna pay off. As far as the bad guys, that could be very easily done. I can't think of the things they have. The things the bad people send in the coffins or whatever it is. But they gotta look realistic too. It'll come to me what the names of them. But that has to look realistic too. So and the old witch and the hag, those are things that could be done. But whenever they're doing it, and I know I'm sounding really redundant, that transformation has to look believable, something fantastic. Like we've seen on the Transformers. They gotta look more, even better than that. I would build on what we've seen in some of the Transformers movies because the transformations actually don't look bad. They're going from car to robot and back and forth. That doesn't look bad, but now you're going to have cats. So how they're going to transform, how they're going to put together, that transformation has to be fantastic. It has to be pristine. You got to be like, shit, that was worth me paying whatever you pay to get in there and sort of movie. So I'm interested to see if they have certain things. If they're not going to put the money into it, get a good soundtrack, get a good intro, then you're just wasting a lot of money, in my opinion.
Okay. Very good. All right. Nzo, you want to go next?
Yeah, man.
Okay, go ahead.
I definitely will be interested in seeing a Voltron movie. I personally wasn't a big Voltron fan growing up, but I did watch some of the cartoons, and they weren't bad, you know. But yeah, Danny's right. If you're gonna do it, you got to do it correctly. You got to make them look good. The CGI has to be on point. It can't be no low budget stuff. And like you said, if you take the cues from the Transformers, which you're right, even though those movies were pretty trash, the way they transformed and everything, the details, you could see little screws coming out and going in and moving around. It would be amazing if they did that with a Voltron type of movie. Again, I'm not sure about who's going to be making it, because you guys said that there's this jokey, right, or whatever. I don't mind jokes in my movies as long as they don't go too far. Like, for example, Thor Ragnarok, the first half of the movie, I loved it, but then when he gets to the planet, just gets way too jokey for me and too silly. Guardians of the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is the same thing, just way too jokey and silly, and you take away from like heavy moments when you do stuff like that. And Marvel has a tendency to do that a lot in their movies. But at the end of the day, hey man, I'm down for Voltron. I'm down for whatever old cartoons or whatever old shows that you want to. Hey man, hey man, I hear myself. But yeah, if you if you want to do modern versions of these cartoons or these old movies, I am down for it 100%. I don't think a lot of them, you know, could be done properly if they get into the right hands. And I'm always a big, if you should be a fan of the thing that you're making, right? So if you're going to do Voltron movie, I want you to be a fan of Voltron. If you're going to do Transformers or anything else, you need to be a fan of it, because then you stay true to what you remember as a kid, you know? And that's one of the things that I really was disappointed me with those Transformer movies, is that sometimes you watch them and it's like, what, who was that supposed to be? That's Devastator? Like, you know? And when you saw Bumblebee, the first 10 minutes of Bumblebee, I sat there and I was just naming them. Oh, Shockwave, Soundwave, you know what I mean? Like they were recognizable, and I think that was the best thing Transformers has ever done in all of their movies. So I would love to see them do something like that with Voltron. Stay true to the cartoon, give us the cats and everything, form Voltron, give us a nice good villain that he has to fight, and I'm there, man. I'm there 100%. I think Pacific Rim was kind of like a stepping stone, because it was kind of, you know, big robots and kaijus fighting and stuff like that. So you can kind of get a comparison to what they could do with Voltron in that. So.
Absolutely. All right.
Well, we should do a Silverhawk. God.
Oh, 3 minutes. You don't have to use all 3 minutes by all means. Just say what you got to say, and that's fine. But 3 minutes, your time starts now.
Well, let me start with Anzo's point about it needing to be a fan. I would point out that when Nicholas Meyer made Star Trek II, which is still considered one of the best, if not the best Star Trek movie, he did not know very much about Star Trek. He sat and watched the entire series, the whole 79 episode run, to get a handle on it. So I'm not convinced that you have to have a fan to make something. I mean, the people who are making Star Trek now, you know, Kurtzman Trek, they claim to be fans, and we see what's going on with that. I think a lot of times what you run into when you're doing these reboots, these remakes, the people who are in charge of it, the nostalgia factor, yes, we want to keep our youth. We want to hang on to those things that we enjoyed when we were kids. But you look at something like Starsky and Hutch, and it turns into a parody of itself, and you don't take it seriously. Where this could go off the rails with Voltron is if they take it and approach it as a Cowboy Bebop type of thing, rather than, if you look at the live action Space Battleship Yamato that was put out here a few years ago, it's an excellent live action adaptation of Star Blazers. Even to the point where the costumes actually look like they work in that environment. And David's right. Kevin Smith claims to be a fan of Masters of the Universe. We see what happened with that. Russian Marshall, besides being a comedy director, I mean, he's got Dodgeball, he's got Easy A, But he's also got Skyscraper with Dwayne Johnson in addition to Red Notice, so he can do action. Maybe he can do it well enough. Maybe he can handle it. He's got some experience with the big special effects sets. So, depending on the story, and that's where it's gonna fall apart or it's gonna hold together, is the script. Is if you have something that is both respectful of the source material, relatively faithful to the source material, because you're not going to be able to do it one for one, a complete 100% adaptation. You're going to change it a little bit to adapt to the new medium. But I think as long as they're respectful of the source material, they don't necessarily have to be beholden to it 100% all the way. I think maybe he can handle it. But some of that's going to be what his script is, who his cast is, and how much control the studio tries to exert over what he's trying to do.
Good. Yeah. All right. I'll take 3 minutes on this real quick. So you both make good points, Nzo and Jason. To Anzo's point, a fan, especially with Voltron. I think Voltron is that special kind of show that it had its diehards. I mean, Transformers was like that. G.I. Joe's like that. You just got this Cowboy Bebop. You mentioned that, and the Colossal. What the hell happened there? That Netflix did to it. I was a fan of that, and I haven't even watched it. I just heard people talking about the things they did. I was like, I can't watch that. But Anzo makes a really good point. It needs to be a fan. But you bring up Nicholas Meyer, I think, right? Yeah, Nicholas Meyer. And here's the thing, though. Going back and watching all of the original series is kind of like saying, okay, I'm not a fan, but I got to understand this at least. And when doing that, he became a person who at least understood what people who were fans were going to want and the characters enough. So there is a factor to that. Now, if that's what, and I forgot the guy's name now already, the Red Notice director. But if he does something like that, if he goes back and watches Voltron and gets the real particulars that he knows people, like Danny said, when Voltron comes together, that's got to be a certain way. We expect a certain thing. I mean, everybody remembers the animated, montage they did for that. Are you going to redo that in the live action? Well, you can't do it exactly like that, but you got to be like you got to give that some of an homage to that. That's similar to that. The biggest problem here is somebody mentioned it about the budget. I mean, the budget for something like this, I think, would just be astronomical. And yes, Transformers is a very similar movie to this. Pacific Rim is similar to what you would have to have. But then you have to find the right actors, too. And I'm not sure, because this requires 5 actors that are going to be at least sharing very similar screen time that need to have a very good screen presence. And I think for that, then you're talking about a budget that's going to just be astronomical. And I don't know what any studio is willing to give out on something that they're not sure of. So there's a lot of factors in this that have to be figured out. Do I want to see something like that? Yes. Voltron was like my life for a little bit. I had a 3D puzzle that was, was the full-size robot and everything. I loved that show. So I want to see the live action. But like we said, it's all about honoring it correctly, understanding it correctly, and then applying it to live action. Sometimes it's the hardest thing when you're taking something from cartoon to live action. It's just that translation between the two. So, all right. Let's talk about this for 3 minutes together real quick, guys. Okay, so we're all in agreement. Would we all want to see this?
Yeah, I definitely would.
I'd be curious.
Okay, curious. Okay. And then,
and I was just gonna say, I'll be honest. Like, I hear what you're saying about the fan and stuff, but I think if that's the case, then you kind of, you do a good search for someone who you think. I don't know, man. It's hard to say because, in some ways, you had fans that did it and fucked it up, like the He-Man. I agree with you on that 100%. But also, how much of that is studio interference as well? You know what I mean? So it's weird to say. Like, I don't think it's 100% has to be a fan of it, but I would like it, at least someone that wants to stay true. Like you said, you know, the guy from Star Trek, he went and he watched all the episodes, and then he came up with Wrath of Khan, and Wrath of Khan is great, still the best Star Trek movie till today, right? So if someone's invested in it like that and is willing to do that much research, then I think that could work as well. So
I think the other
also
thing
too.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go
I
ahead,
was gonna
Danny.
make real quick. I know in the past we said, I'm not sure where we said it, that in some movies, like if it's a black based movie, a black director needs to do it, white, female, that kind of stuff. I don't necessarily agree with that because I did some research, man. In Color Purple, man, that was directed by Steven Spielberg, and he killed it. So that's not always a rule. I mean, it may help in some aspects of a particular culture. I don't think that is necessary.
Yeah,
My issue. Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, to your point about the budget, given now that we've got the innovations in studios like The Volume, for example, using the game engines for the digital environment like they're using for The Mandalorian and Kenobi, and there are more of those cropping up. I think from the standpoint of shooting on location as opposed to shooting in a studio environment, you're going to have that consideration that comes into it as well. So maybe it doesn't cost as much because we're not having to go out practical all the time.
That's true.
You can actually still interact with whatever it is that's out there on screen, but you're still getting the interplay, the interaction of light on the surfaces and the textures. So that might alleviate some of the costs involved. It has to be done right. And a lot of the CG, sometimes you get too much and it gets overbaked and it looks slightly off. There's just something about it that doesn't work. And that's a concern too.
Absolutely. My only thing, the last thing I was going to say about this was whenever I hear about somebody like, and again, sorry, forgetting his name is horrible on my part, but the Red Nose director.
Russian Marshall.
Yeah. Yes. The thing about him, and when I hear that and know Red Notice and think about that, is I think about what they did to movies like you said. I think you mentioned Starsky and Hutch, Dukes of Hazzard, not the Hill Street Blues, 21 Jump Street. When they take it and it's like, what I'm saying is, can comedy work? Can some comedy work? And understanding how comedy can work within it, I'm fine with that. But when you make it into a comedy and literally a satire of itself, will not work with this.
Right.
And that's my only concern with that. So now, that said, we'll move on to our second topic. But Jason, I appreciate you coming on. If you want to stick around, you can. If you've got someplace else to run, you can. It's up to you.
I do need to bail because I haven't had dinner yet, and I've got 2 more streams that I got to jump on later today. So, but yeah, I definitely appreciate being able to jump on and spend some time with you guys. I like having conversations like this where people know about what they're talking about. So it's always
don't give people ideas that I know things.
Yeah, Chris may be the only one that doesn't know anything that we talk about. It's okay.
If you want to really quick put your links into the private chat, and I'll make sure they get out there for people who are watching. Sure. And we'll make sure we do that for you. And I appreciate you coming by.
Nice meeting you, man. Have a good one.
Yeah. Hey, you too. Always a pleasure to come through here and spend some time with you guys. We need to do it again soon.
Yeah. And again, we will get the Star Wars Senate back together soon. We'll get you on there. And happy 13th anniversary over at Sci-Fi for Me TV. I'm glad you came on.
Bro.
Thanks for having me.
Oh. I don't know if I think it froze on him. They said I don't know if you guys, when you logged in, if it showed you that they're having problems with how many people are on right now. I have never seen that until like this past week. And I'm like, what the heck?
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, I was just on the other day. They had a town hall meeting because now they said that you can use the Elgato Stream Deck with this.
You can?
They said today.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Because
Yep.
now that's gonna make it easier for intros and stuff for me.
It just went on sale for they had $121 now. I looked at one today.
I've got an XL and I've got the mini. So I have to check that out. All right. Let's see here. Who wants to go and pick one?
I'll go. Go, Danny. No, you go, Danny. Age before beauty.
Oh,
I'll go with one.
All right. The Oscars are coming up on the 27th. Many people say that the Oscars and other award shows are only popularity contests and very racially biased. What are your thoughts about these comments?
I'm gonna go first on this one.
There you go. 3 minutes. Your time starts now.
Well, first off, I absolutely 100% believe that the Oscars are racially biased, right? I remember there was one year with Jada Pinkett, they did a little boycott of it, and they wanted to have people boycott it because there was no, black nominees and stuff like that. And I'm just like, man, I can't remember the last time I watched the Oscars. I don't give a damn about the Oscars, to be honest with you. It is a popularity contest because half of the movies that fucking win, I don't even like. I ain't even gonna watch these goddamn movies. You know what I mean? Hey, Parasite won, and that movie, I said, okay, you know what? Let me give Parasite a shot. And I gave it a shot, and Parasite was pretty good. So I'm not gonna say that they're not good movies that they're nominating. Just like 99.999% of them are just movies that I would not watch. You know what I mean? You had Moonlight win an Oscar. I ain't watching that. You know what I mean? Whatever else won, Tick, Tick, Boom. And then when we talk about the bias, you have Denzel Washington, who I think had one of the best performances when he did Malcolm X. I thought that performance was fucking amazing, and he didn't win the Oscar. It was given to Al Pacino for Son of a Woman, which I'll agree. I ended up watching Son of a Woman, and you 100% believe that he is blind. So I wasn't mad at that, but I just 100% think that Denzel Washington performance was a little bit better. But they tried to make it up to him by giving him an award for Training Day. Now I get it. You win an Oscar, you're happy, boom, but not for fucking Training Day. John Q was a better performance than fucking Training Day. You know what I mean? Halle Berry, she won for Monster Ball. The only reason why she won for Monster Ball is because she was given up to Tommy Lee. That's the only reason why she won
Billy
for
Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob.
She had at least two other reasons that were going on there too. So there were several things going on in that movie that she won for.
Made me feel good.
I like to make her feel good.
Right, because
wait, because it's all about the boom boom.
But for real, her performance wasn't great in that movie to me. Like when she said it made me feel good, I was like, yo, what the hell? Halle Berry, you can do better than that. You did not convince me that you were a sad, broken down woman. She didn't convince me. But yeah, she won the Oscar for that movie, and I was just like, yeah, nah.
I was convinced.
So yeah, it's a popularity contest and bias for sure.
All right. I have a poll up here.
I wish I was a white man. I was like, damn. Why not be Billy Bob Thornton for the next 10 minutes?
I never got the Billy Bob Thornton thing. I was like, what the hell is that all about? Anyways, we had our first poll was up. Was do you want to see a live action Voltron movie? 68% of you said yes. We had 16 votes on that. Our new poll is up, and check that out. We'll talk about that after we're done. So, Danny, you got 3 minutes to talk about this, or of course, however long you want to use. Your time starts now.
Almost identical to what Nzo said. I don't care. about the Oscars. I never really watched. I think I watched the time when Chris Rock had that montage at the beginning where he was kind of going off saying little smart stuff in support of the previous boycott with I think Jada Pinkett and Will Smith, because I think Will Smith did the one about the concussion, and I don't think he was nominated or something, which he should have been. And he definitely should be nominated for King Richard. He's doing an outstanding job. This really Oscars really isn't the end all be all for me as far as to evaluate a particular actor or actress's ability, because some of them I've heard of, some of them I haven't. But like anything else, we all gravitate to a certain actor or actress that we like for whatever reason. Denzel Washington, Al Pacino, Rob De Niro. These guys are the creme de la creme, in my opinion. And most of their movies, when I see them, I'm going to probably watch because I know what they've done. Out of the three, I think Rob De Niro is the most versatile, and because I've seen him do comedy, drama, suspense, actions. So, but all three of them, they build that cachet with us, and whether they get nominated or not at the Oscar, that's not going to add or diminish how I feel about them. So I really think the Oscars kind of maybe outlived its usefulness because I don't gauge. I don't think the actual moviegoer really cares about an Oscar. I think one thing the Oscar does for the actress or the actor is that when you have that they won an Oscar or nominated, it ups their value. So if you've got an Oscar nominated actor or actress, then you got to pay them a little bit more. So for that, yeah, I'm cool with it. But far as from our side of it, we're gonna like who we like, whether they win an Oscar or not. So it's really not important from the fan point of view, in my opinion. It's more so something to give them opportunities, kind of like a athlete. If he goes to the Pro Bowl, he get a better contract, or if he get first NBA, second NBA, that improves his chances of getting a max contract. So I think the Oscar and award shows are kind of the same tool to help the actor or actress improve their worth in upcoming jobs. But as far as a fan, if they stop doing it this year, I would not lose 1 hour of sleep. So to me, it's really not important. But if they want to play it on there and people want to watch it, what do them do? It's not going to change how I feel about it one way or the other.
Okay. Very good. All right, really quick, let's look at this. Dune has a lot of nominations, and the director who coordinated all of that, Denis Villeneuve, didn't even get nominated. Yeah, I know. But yes, King Richard is nominated for Best Picture, and I believe Will Smith is nominated for Best Actor, or I think it's Best Actor because it's about him. Yeah, or about Venus and Serena's dad. Yeah, apparently they're no longer going to televise technical stuff. So like your, best, best special effects and stuff like that. I've heard that too. Guaranteed the Oscars are going to have something controversial to draw people in. Yeah, fake controversy. I think they generate that controversy. But let me talk about that. The Oscars is the biggest, and most award shows, I'll say this, is the biggest piece of shit that there is out there. It is a popularity contest. That is my 100% pure belief. I watched the iHeartRadio Awards last night, but the only reason why I watched that is because LL Cool J started off. After that, I lost interest because he had a quick montage of some of his awesome hits he's had, and I was into that. And I think it's the only reason why I would never watch a music award shows for the performances, because I think those are crack of shit too. Lots of times when you hear from people who have been involved around the Oscars or other award shows, you'll hear them say that it's mostly the money that gets pushed to the industry. So did they push enough money into, let's say, the advertising? Was it the thing you saw all the time? Sometimes it doesn't happen. Anzo mentioned Parasite. But at the same time, I think Parasite won because it was this gimmick, this novelty that they don't normally get. And I mean, I really think that they need to really look at these and say, okay, in the industry, what we're going for, is this the creme de la creme? It might mean you lose out on things like Star Wars. Star Wars may not get nominated except for the technical stuff. It might mean that some of the great actors out there, be it Al Pacino, be it, Dustin Hoffman, be it, Tom Cruise, Tom Hanks, any one of those. I mean, they don't get in because it's not that kind of movie that really shows, what can be done. Because I think Nzo made a very good point about Malcolm X. That movie was excellent. So was Son of a Woman, but I think Son of a Woman was more about it was a story developed for a movie. Malcolm X was absolutely about a real person. Now we all know the rules about based on a true story, because based on a true story means that the name of the person is true. Pretty much, it's about as far as they normally go. Now sometimes they do better, but Malcolm X, that movie was just wow. It was just crazy good. And for it to get passed over or looked over, or parts of it to be looked over, it really, I guess, shows the lacking thought that goes into some of the votes. Sometimes it's just like, oh, this guy's the up and comer, so we're going to give it to him. There's going to be a movie out there this weekend or whenever it does come out that nobody cares about, that's going to win an award that nobody saw. So really, what's it winning the award for? I think part of the reason why movies should win is because people want to see it. It's that good of a movie. And there's a lot more to it than just being, the cool and kitschy thing. So I don't know. 3 minutes, we'll talk about this together, guys. I don't know. I'm like you. Well, both of you, actually. It just doesn't hold anything for me. I know Robert Storms talked about this last year. And, we kind of, I was in agreement with him. I mean, it's a piece of crap. It's like, what the hell? I think it's a waste of time.
I think one time it held some reverence, but things are just kind of watered down, or I don't know what metrics they use to measure how performances and stuff, because it's too subjective. Because you may look at one thing, just okay. Prime example. I think Batman was fantastic. Nzo, totally. So I mean, opposite of that. So I mean, how can they? I don't understand. I don't understand how they can use whatever metric they use to get it to give it even in that stratosphere of being good or bad.
There are 9,500 people eligible to vote of the Academy of Motion Picture and Arts and Sciences. Now, let's say, and I'm gonna put out a theory here. One of those people, they were so in debt because they went to school, they studied all the technical stuff, everything they possibly could, but they were so in debt, and some rich guy like Tom Hanks comes by and says, you know what, I'm going to pay off all your debts for that because you went into a field I love dearly, whatever. Well, Tom Hanks comes up, and now that person he paid off is one of the voters. Does that buy him a vote?
It sure does.
Yeah. So that's my problem is that money, there's a lot of things that go into this that I think it's like, I don't know. I don't like the People's Choice Awards, but at least you can say, hey, it's only fans that vote on that. Even the Nickelodeon Kids Awards, it's only the kids that vote on that. And so there is something to be said about that, because then that's the people that you're going for. So if they don't like it, you're SOL. But the Oscars is like, nobody really knows how they vote or who votes exactly. They don't talk about that stuff. It's like that, I think it's horrible.
This guy Page is awesome. Damn.
He's been doing this for a long time, and it's kind of the concept that I want to do with Khaos Central. So, but we've only been doing this for a year and a half, 2 years now. So,
yeah,
it takes a minute.
Big bucks.
Yeah, it could be, but I don't know. Stabby Sherry. I see you changed your name after the situation today, Sherry. Good to see you there. All right. Last topic, and then we get to the final five. You guys ready for this one? Here we go. The Russian occupation of Ukraine has been going on for 1 month tomorrow. Some are calling for a no-fly zone to be established by the U.S. and NATO allies. Many are concerned that this would escalate conflict to a nuclear war. Do you think more should be done, or is the current course correct? 3 minutes.
I'll go
who wants
first.
to start?
I'll go
Nzo,
first.
go.
Oh man, is the current? Yeah, it is fucking correct, because if they do, and I know Americans, and NATO, they gotta proceed with extreme caution, because Putin is a fucking madman, and now there's all kinds of rumors that he may have cancer, and it just seems like he's determined. Like, you seen Tenet? If you seen Tenet, the guy in Tenet was like,
Dude,
if I'm dying, I'm taking
just
everyone with me.
That's a shorter Putin, man. You're absolutely right. When you said that just now, I was like, holy shit, dude, that is right.
So I have a feeling that if that is the case, you know what I mean, then yeah, Putin's going to want to take us all with him. So if he has that mindset already, then we have to proceed with caution, because it's just going to end up being something a lot worse than we can handle right now. You know what I mean? And I am not interested in no fucking World War III. You know what I mean? These motherfuckers are going to destroy the world right after we had fucking COVID, lockdown, and all kinds of bullshit. And then now they want to be like, all right, COVID's done. Here, you guys have something else to worry about now. Let's nuke these motherfuckers, I don't know, man. It's kind of a scary time we're living in. You never know, man. When I was growing up, one of my biggest fears was fucking nuclear war. And now, like, there's this real heavy threat of it, Back in the day when I was growing up, there was the threat, but it wasn't like this. This is like at another level right now. I don't know whatever number, but I'm guaranteed America's on like DEFCON 4 or whatever, DEFCON 3, whatever this like closest to highest level that they have, they are right there, guaranteed. Because Putin, he ain't fucking around, man. You know what I mean? And he is an itchy trigger finger. And I said this on a stream before. I think it was on this show a couple of weeks ago, where I said we need Jason Bourne, we need John Wick, we need all these motherfuckers to come together. And I seen what Keanu Reeves can do in a fucking setting, like his training. So send his ass into Russia and assassinate this motherfucker. I'm sure he can get out alive. But with that being said, man, I don't even know, man. I'm just like, listen, I'm just trying to live my life and not think about it. But at the end of the day, it's hard to not think about it, especially when we know the consequences that could happen. Just 20 nukes, guys, just 20 nukes, and that's the end of the world. So it's crazy.
Yep. Yeah. I think it was Lindsey Graham who said a few weeks ago that somebody in Russia should assassinate the president. And a lot of people jumped on his ass. And while I don't necessarily like a lot of the stuff Lindsey Graham says, I wasn't against the thought. I'm like, hey, you know what? If a band of people in Russia think that it's bad enough, I mean, anybody who does anything has to accept the consequences. But I've heard that most of his generals and stuff are not even on board with this stuff. So I think if somebody were to take a shot and succeed, everybody's just going to like look the other way and go like, oh, okay, well, let's just keep going. I don't know. All right, Danny, 3 minutes. Your time starts now.
I think the movie was a law-abiding citizen, and I think Cyrus was the person that would figure out how to get close to people and take them out. We need to find Cyrus. Wherever he at, wherever she at, we need to find Cyrus, fly them to Russia, and figure out a way to neutralize this issue. I don't want to say anything more aggressive than that, but this situation needs to be neutralized. But what makes me think too, and I could be wrong, if if someone's even contemplating nuclear war, I'm sure they got bunkers and stuff built in America for the president and his selected few, whoever he chose, in Russia. So these suckers might be know something we don't know, and by thinning out the herd or whatever, in their warped sense of we're going to save mankind by because we don't have the resources to last X amount of years or X amount of decades. I mean, we see these movies that say this shit all the time. So I don't want to believe in all this deep conspiracy stuff, but we constantly seeing these millionaires trying to find ways to get off the planet, go to the moon, go to Mars. Somebody gets some information that we don't know. So these people that's in the know, if you believe in that conspiracy stuff or you believe in the Illuminati and that stuff, then maybe they know something that we don't know. Because I do remember 5, 6, maybe 7 years ago, Obama and the guy over Apple, I can't think of his name now.
Steve Jobs.
Not Jobs, the other guy.
No.
Elon Musk.
No. The one that's super rich.
Oh, you're thinking about Bill Gates, Microsoft.
Yeah, Bill Gates, Microsoft.
Gates, yeah.
They said they predicted this. I can show you the receipts where they talked about this pandemic was coming. How the hell they know that? So I'm just letting you know, we can kind of stick our heads in the sand like an ostrich if we want, and act like things gonna be all right. People gonna survive because I guarantee you there's some kind of place bunker. They got millions of pounds of food that can sustain life for a certain number of people till this nuclear winter is over. If they choose to go that route, and they say how much money this damn Putin got and stuff. So I hope nobody is not that crazy and to take out the whole world. But man, evil, like it gets stronger each and every decade. Gets a little bit stronger and stronger and stronger. And then the Bible talks about this. 7 seals. It talks about it in Revelation. So I don't know.
All right. Guys, I got another poll up there, so make sure you vote in that. We got 14 people watching. Appreciate every one of you guys to see Rabbit Slug Ouchies. Basil's here. I saw Sherry here. Mystic Shadows. Mio1. I Love Food. David's here. I saw Guys Stars pop in for a second. But guys, we really appreciate all you guys being here. Thank you so very much. Let's go on. I'm going to get on to this. Absolutely, you should not escalate. Anza makes a very good point. When we don't really know the current state of Vladimir Putin's mindset, you can't screw with that. You just have to sit back, unfortunately, and say, okay, this is what we can do. If it means we can get them planes, then great. If it means we can get them aid, if it means we can be standing at the border, helping anybody that wants to get out of Ukraine right now, get out, that's great. You know what, though, also, I'll say? The Ukrainian forces and the people who have stayed in Ukraine have been fighting. They haven't been losing. They have been holding the Russians, and the Russians weren't prepared for this. Most of the Russians went in there thinking it's an exercise, and they were told they're going to welcome you with open arms. They said all of this stuff. I don't think they expected this fight. And especially nobody expected a president there who was going to be on some sort of a broadcast every day, talking to literally every nation of the world and fighting for his own country. Nobody expected that, especially in Russia. And I guarantee you Vladimir Putin didn't. And what surprises me is that Vladimir Putin actually went to China asking for help. That means he is desperate right now. They have stopped them in places. They've made them only want to shell because they're sitting there. They don't want to go into these cities because these people are fighting tooth and nail for their country. You just can't do much more than that. This is, unfortunately, this is the Ukrainian, this is their fight. But you've got people like Mila Kunis here and her husband, Ashton Kutcher. They just raised $38 million. I mean, they're going to keep raising money because she's from Ukraine. there's plenty of ways to help other than do this no-fly zone. And I know that their president wants a no-fly zone, but unfortunately, like we've said, and NATO people have said, if we enforce a no-fly zone over Ukraine, our planes have to fire on Russian planes. That's an act of war no matter how you look at it. And he would take it as that. Whether or not we're just doing it to try to protect the country, they're going to go against us. And then that it brings us all back to that mutually assured destruction thing that Nzo was talking about, that we grew up with. Nzo, Danny, and myself, we grew up with that. So I asked my kids the other day, I said, do you even really realize what's going on right now? And they're like, what do you mean? And I was like, in Ukraine, it says, oh yeah, they're fighting over there. And I'm like, they don't even realize how close this is. This is probably the closest we've come to maybe some sort of nuclear weapon being, released, whether or not it's just to Ukraine or here. It's not about that. It's about actually one getting used. Small, tactical, doesn't matter. It's like that's unprecedented. So I think the current course is the only course you can take. You have to be hands off as you can. Just be as hands-on as you can be while still being hands-off. That's how I think you have to do it. 3 minutes for all of us. I mean,
yeah, I agree with you 100%, man. We gotta be careful how we handle this situation, and yeah, this guy is like, let's end it. You know what I mean? If I can't get what I want, then we're gonna end this shit, and I don't give a fuck. Like he does. He has no regard for human life whatsoever. That is dangerous. That is extremely dangerous for someone that has no regard for human life. Fuck it. Let's destroy the world. It's over.
Yeah. and then the problem comes down to is if he launches, well, what are we supposed to do? Just let it happen?
Nope.
I mean,
they're gonna launch.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know exactly. I know at one time we had missile defenses up for that stuff. I don't know exactly where we're at anymore with that. Nobody's ever going to know exactly what our capabilities are. Perhaps we wouldn't have a problem. Maybe we'd be able to shoot them all up in the sky. But then the fallout up in the sky coming down on wherever country that is, it's just a whole nother, like, what the hell? And unfortunately, when you're dealing with a crazy person or who appears to be crazy, what do you do? Danny, any thoughts on this anymore?
Might have stepped away from it.
Must, yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, man. And like you said, even if they shoot these missiles out the sky, you still got that nuclear fallout there, right? How many missiles are going to be shot, right? Because you're not going to shoot one. He shoot like 5, 6, 7 missiles at one time, So not only do you got to shoot all of them up, yeah, it's just a bad thing. And Danny said they have bunkers. Absolutely, they have bunkers, but the rest of us are fucked.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, there was a movie called The Day After. I think The Day After, which was made in the 80s, and I've talked about it here before for various reasons, but basically about a nuclear weapon being dropped on Kansas City. And when I saw that as a child, that probably drove home so much, because there have been nuclear war movies or what happens during nuclear war and things like that. But truthfully, to see as a child your city shown on a movie being blown up by a nuclear weapon scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, I remember just thinking anytime a tornado siren went off, I was like, what? Is it coming? I mean, yeah.
There's a movie called Damnation Alley. I remember that stars Michael Vincent, and man, that movie was it was tough. Jan Michael Vincent, who starred, the guy that played Stringfellow Hawk on Airwolf, starred in it. And man, it was tough, boy.
Yeah,
did you see shit with Denzel Washington? What's the name of that movie?
Which one?
When it was after the war.
Book of Eli?
Yeah, Book of Eli.
Oh, yeah.
That's how the world gonna be. Who wants to live with like that?
For real.
All right. Well, guys,
I mean, you don't have to pay no more taxes and shit. I'd be good with that.
Yeah, but shit, what the fuck you gotta eat? You gotta trade fucking shit for water?
Yeah. Well, radiated water at that. My God. All right, guys. You know what time it is.
I was gonna say I'll get my crew together, man, and we fucking taking over all the water supply and shit. And everybody got to come through us. We doing a Walking Dead style, bro.
Well, Walking Dead or Fallout, the game, that type of stuff, like where everybody's collecting bottle caps and you create the new currency.
Yeah.
You're like, bring your Nzo dollars in and I'll give you some water.
For real.
All right, guys, you know what time it is. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now for the moment that everyone's been waiting for. It's Khaos Central's Final 5 Fact or Fiction. Yes, the Final 5 Fact or Fiction. 5 questions that have simply one answer.
I'm just
Fact
thinking.
or
I mean,
fiction?
I don't
Yes.
mean to interrupt. I'm just thinking in Walking
ahead.
Dead, I'd be making my way to Fort Knox and steal some of that fucking gold.
Fort Knox, screw that. Go to freaking New York City. That's where more gold's at. The
Wherever the gold
U.S.
is.
Treasury deposits
That's
over
right,
there.
yeah, I guarantee you. Because one
But
day,
I mean, I guess Fort Knox by then it's kind of out, not in big
you're
city.
thinking the same thing I'm saying, Donnie, right? One day the world's gonna be back to normal,
that's
right?
And I'm gonna be on top. I'm gonna be on
Facts.
top. Baby.
Facts.
All right, so we have one question. One question that has been decided this week, and I think Danny knows which question that is.
I'm not sure. Let me get my-
Final 5 Fact or Fiction. Question number 5 from last week. Tom Brady is rumored to possibly be signing with the San Francisco 49ers. Besides being a hometown, it is also the team of his idol, Joe Montana, who won 4 Super Bowls with them. Fact or Fiction, Tom Brady will come back and play for the San Francisco 49ers. We know that he is not. Unfortunately, he is coming back.
the hate is
fucks with
real,
my
boy,
life.
ain't it?
All right, question number 5. Danny said fact. Nzo said fact. But guess who said fiction? Me.
Really?
I said fiction. Yes.
What was the question? Would you come back for the 49ers?
Yes.
Okay.
You said fact, and Nzo said fact. I didn't. I said fiction because I hate the asshole. So my hatred actually worked, and I did not say I hated him. That was an error in my microphone.
And you
That was an error in my
You're
microphone.
lucky.
I did not say
Yeah.
I hate him.
the truth finally came out.
What are you talking about? You guys are still ahead of me by at least 2. Give me this one
What are
victory.
the scores?
18,
Danny, you have
17.
18. Nzo has 17, and I have 15 now. So we're going to take out number 5 here since we've done it. And we'll save and close up. All right.
Fucking
This
Brady.
week's questions. Question number 1, fact or fiction. Tom Brady has re-signed with the Tampa Bay Bucks. Many are saying that this helps the chances of Tampa Bay returning and winning another Super Bowl. Fact or fiction. Tampa Bay will win another Super Bowl with Tom Brady.
This is a fucked up question.
It is,
It is.
isn't it?
I'm gonna say fiction.
Okay. Danny?
I'm gonna say fact because Green Bay has got very weak now, and Kansas City, in my opinion, has gotten weaker. So I'm going with fact.
Okay. You're saying fact, and I'm going to say fiction.
Knew that was coming.
I have scientific reasoning behind that fiction, such as I would much rather like literally eat a slug than see him win another
You
Super.
might better go ahead and get some ready because I don't count that cloud out till he's
All
out.
right, question number 2. Tyreek Hill has been traded to the Miami Dolphins. The Kansas City Chiefs will receive Miami's 2022 first round, second round, and fourth round picks, and their 2023 fourth and sixth round picks. Many say this will hurt the Chiefs. Fact or fiction, Kansas City will not make the playoffs in 2022. Danny?
That's fiction.
I will say fiction also. And Nzo?
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say fiction, but I want to say fact. But I'm gonna say fiction.
There's some hatred. That's okay. I appreciate hatred. It's all right. we all are so passive aggressive when it comes to our football fanhood. You know, we're all like, when we all want to say, "Fuck that asshole." All right, question number 3. On February 27th, Indiana Jones 5 wrapped filming. With the majority of people not liking the direction of the 4th film and Steven Spielberg being hands-off on this film, many are speculating a flop for Indy 5. Fact or fiction, Indiana Jones 5 will be a box office flop. Now remember,
we're still holding on to this damn movie.
I know. Well, here's the thing, guys. Box office flop, what I mean is, if it doesn't break even, it's a flop, okay? That's what I mean. Just so I'm going to go right here. I'm going to take a wild stab at the dark of this. I do think it's a fact, but I'm going to say fiction because I don't want it to be a flop, but whatever. Danny, fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Fiction, okay. And Nzo. You're muted, Nzo.
Fact.
Uh-oh.
I'm going with fact.
Fact, okay. Very good. Question number...
Keep it from flopping.
4. Moon Knight is about to begin. There are a lot of elements that are new to the MCU. The last time elements that involved culture was in Shang-Chi, with an element of Egyptian culture and even more of mystical elements than past projects. Fact or fiction, Moon Knight will be disliked and misunderstood because of these elements. We kind of got onto it Monday when we talked about Moon Knight, about the Egyptian side of it and all that. And, you know, the guy who's kind of the showrunner for it is very big into all of that being represented.
Just for the fact that people hate the shit that Marvel shows are doing, I'm going to say fact.
Fact, okay. And we'll gauge it by kind of the overall tone, because, you know, whenever we talk about these things, you can tell where most people are with it. We're not going
to... How about if it's just light, but they ain't got nothing to do with those elements that you described?
What was that?
How about if it's just light, but it got nothing to do with those elements that you described?
Well, I think part of that, well, you know, like Shang-Chi, when I hear about Shang-Chi and people who dislike that movie, it was because it was like, oh, that doesn't fit in the MCU. I'm not saying it's only because of those elements, but those elements might be
a part of it.
You say they're going to be disliked because the Egyptian culture may not be properly
Will it be disliked and misunderstood because of those elements, or will that be a factor in it, more to the point? Are we going to hear people talk about, oh, look, they're just trying to force this down our throat? You know what I'm talking about, like representation and stuff like that. Like, oh, they're just trying to force down the whole Egyptian and the culture and all that. Because like we said on Monday when we were talking, or was it yesterday? No, it was Monday when we talked about Dwayne Johnson talking to the showrunner for Moon Knight about, you know, he has the perfect opportunity to show, you know, this Egyptian culture, and then he turns around and says, but it may not have anything to do with that because, you know, he could be doing a different version. If this is really heavily just trying to do the whole culture thing, that could be a reason. So we'll hear about it. And I'm not the one that makes the decision. We'll agree or we'll agree on this, what we decide on that, why it's disliked, if it is disliked.
I'll go with fiction.
Okay. Man, I'm going to go fiction too. Oh, I agree. You know, I agree, but I don't know how they'll represent. I'm going to say fiction also. Last one. Tyreek Hill will now be a Miami Dolphin. Many people believe this hurts his chances to get to the playoffs and will hurt his stats. Fact or fiction? Tyreek Hill will have less than 10 touchdowns this next season. Now, I will be fully transparent with you. This past season with the Kansas City Chiefs, he only had 9.
No, this is fiction. He will have more than 10.
Fiction. Think so?
Yeah, I'm going with fiction too, because he wasn't the only one with they got a pretty good wide
Two or
receiver.
whatever gonna be throwing his ass like crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to say it's a fact.
Are you gonna have less than 10 touchdowns? There ain't no way.
Okay.
We'll see.
I got to bounce, guys.
That's cool, man. All right. Thank you very much, Nzo. Everybody go over there and check out OOC tonight. We talked a little bit before the show, and he's got some fire topics. Do you want to tell them about it really quick?
Yeah, OOC coming up next. Flagging Melons should be guest starring on there as well. We're going to be talking about the transgender swimmer. I also had is black on black crime a myth? And then Roberto's topic of are we taking care of ourselves? So should be good, man. Should be interesting.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Nzo. Take it easy. Be safe,
Peace.
Guys. Jump on over there. And Danny, tell everybody about yourself and your channel, please.
I'm Danny Graham, aka Comment Chat. You can find me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night here on this channel, Khaos Central, with you, Chris Knight and Nzo, who just left. We do 3 shows. Man on Mondays, Nzo's on Tuesdays, and Chris, of course, is tonight. You can also see us on Saturday afternoons, 4:30 p.m. usually, 4:35, 5:30, somewhere in that time frame, where we do a little show called Square One, where we talk totally NFL and NBA. So we got a lot of good things going in the NFL this week, so I'm going to try and cover them Saturday. So if you're not doing anything, come on by and check us out.
All right, man. Thank you very much for being here tonight, Danny. I am Chris Knight. The Real Review 3000 is my channel, ADHD for YouTube. But guys, Khaos Central is where we want you to be. Check us out 3 days a week at least. And coming up here with Moon Knight, Nzo will be doing the Moon Knight Roundtable. I think he'll do it over on his channel and over here. So make sure you check that out. And we do like the Star Wars and stuff like that will be coming back too. And we have some other things up there too on the way. But thank you, everybody who is watching. Thank you to everybody who's been paying attention to what we're doing. We really appreciate everyone here. But with that said, it is time to get on out of here. Peace.
Peace.